Hey, power people. You are listening to Thema Azize Serwa. And I love being able to just bring some positivity, some good energy to the internet. I do not take for granted that thousands of people tune in to what I talk about. I mean, that means a lot to me. So anyway, let's get into it. I want to give you my definition of self-sabotage. And my definition of self-sabotage is choosing to be dishonorable with yourself for no valid reason. Can somebody put that in the comments? Tama's definition. Everybody has their own. I'm curious to even hear what your definitions of self-sabotage include. But my definition is self-sabotage is choosing to be dishonorable with yourself for no valid reason. And we've all been there. We've all done things that absolutely makes no sense, that absolutely will derail momentum, will absolutely keep us from being able to have what we need from other people, what we need to be successful. And when we really reflect on it, we realize there was no valid reason to sabotage ourselves in that way. But self-sabotage absolutely is a form of self-disrespect. It's one thing to know that you are valuable, that you are worthy, that you woke up this morning, so that automatically means there is some significance for your presence in the world. It's one thing to know those things as facts, but it's something entirely different to actually believe that that's true. And the way you measure what you believe is by looking at your actions. Do you act like you belong? Do you act like you're supposed to be successful? Do you act like you're supposed to have access to the people you have access to, and you're supposed to be in community, and you're supposed to be loved on and supported and witnessed and allowed to go through the ebbs and flows of life? Do you act like, or do you sabotage it? Do you invoke a sense of dishonor as if you aren't supposed to be exactly where you are, as if you are not who you know you are? Self-sabotage and imposter syndrome reside in the same frequencies. They both are indicators that you aren't good with yourself. And it doesn't matter how many people God surrounds you with who will tell you you're okay as you are beautiful, you are powerful, you are loving, you are necessary, you are needed. If you are not good with yourself, you will ruin the moment. You will ruin it. You'll be disrespectful to yourself, and then that disrespect will extend to other people. It'll show up in your communication or the lack thereof. It will show up in how you shrink and begin to withdraw your energy from the very spaces that will fortify you and solidify and ground you. You just sabotage it. all because you are not willing or able yet to be good with yourself. And it reminds me of a quote by Maya Angelou. And it says, "You may not control all of the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." When we get into the domain of self-sabotage, what we're really dealing with is the tussle between your comfort zone and your growth zone. Put that in the comment section. Your comfort zone versus your growth zone. And shout out to, there's a company called Karma Gaia, and they send out these different emails and different reflections, and they have this beautiful chart that they emailed out today to their email list. And it talks about self-sabotage. It says it's time to get real uncomfortable. And in your comfort zone, you feel safe, you feel in control, easy, stable, secure, but bored. You know you're not maximizing your potential in your comfort zone. And then some of you, get brave enough to come out of your comfort zone and go into your fear zone. And fear zone, that's where you begin to feel a lack of confidence, and you start finding excuses for why you can't get certain things done, and you're affected by others' opinions, and so your choices are no longer yours. You're making choices based on what you think people need from you, right? Then you get into the learning zone. The learning zone is where you have to deal with challenges. You have to acquire new skills. You have to extend your comfort zone. And the growth zone is where you find your purpose and you live your dreams, and you're setting new goals, and you're conquering objectives and using new knowledge. When you are in the frequency of self-sabotage, some of the behaviors is you're forgetting deadlines, you're failing to prepare a presentation and to present yourself properly. For example, you're consistently late, you procrastinate, you put something off repeatedly that you know you need to do, even though you know that finishing it would birth the reward and the manifestation of what you're looking for. You refuse to do what it takes. Self-sabotage is the refusal to do what it takes. And it's driven by your self-concept and leaning into the negativity, the negative self-talk. When you find yourself thinking things like, you can't do that, you don't deserve that. Or the favorite thing I hear from my clients, I'm just so tired. It's just too much. I can't. And what I prompt them to think about when they are in the energy of self-sabotage, when they start running that negative tape of, I can't, I'm exhausted, I don't feel like it. Instead of leaning into them explaining to me why they're so tired, why they feel so overwhelmed, I encourage my clients, and any of you listening know this is true about me, tell me what you've gotten done. Pull out your pen and paper and let's write down what you've checked off of your list in the past 24 hours. And when people realize that they ain't getting shit done, then they realize the source of their exhaustion is actually self-imposed. It has nothing to do with what's actually the task. It just has to deal with how they feel about the task that needs to get done. And sometimes in order to conquer and get in the growth zone and come out of your comfort zone, you have to put your feelings to the side. and stand in your truth about who you know you are. I am the woman that gets it done. I have learned to thrive in my responsibilities, not be consumed by them, not be overran by them. I thrive in my responsibilities. Do you know what it does for the brain to check things off your list, to get things done instead of letting it just stack? So you can subconsciously create the excuse to quit and fail, self-sabotage. You subconsciously create the excuse to fail every time you choose to avoid getting the task complete. You would be happier if you stop being so loyal to your comfort zone. Stretch. Get out of your comfort zone. Get into the growth zone. Yeah, you're going to have to move through the fear zone and the learning zone. Yes, there's going to be resistance because you're trying to change a pattern. You're not just trying to do something for the moment. Your legacy, what you leave behind, what your children inherit, what is said about you. Yeah, that's a pattern. And some of you, because of trauma and because of your upbringing, and for some of you, the people you continue to surround yourself with. I don't like being around people who all they can tell me is how much they're not getting done. Tell me what you are doing. I need to be around frequencies that are getting stuff done, because I know me. I will happily return to my pattern of not getting stuff done, just to grieve later when I realize how many years have passed that I said I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and never did. Right? So I like to be surrounded by people who are going through hell and high water and still standing up and stepping to their destiny and their assignment and checking things off the list. You mean to tell me you know what it's like to open up, log into your bank account and not see the amount that you need for the responsibilities you have, and instead of sitting in a corner sucking your thumb and crying or just bowing down and going back to your 9 to 5, you sat there, had a conversation with God, birthed a creative idea, and brought in $100,000 in a day? Those are my folks. We the movers and shakers. Instead of leaning into the excuses and the reasons and the explanations for why I'm not doing what it takes, we face our adversities and we practice our power and we decide to go hard. Go forward. Right? To overcome is not an emotion. It's a series of decisions. I just want to say that again so nobody misses it. To overcome is not an emotion. To overcome is not an emotion. It is a series of decisions. So when I grew up singing, "We shall overcome," that was not something to just feel. Your feelings aren't going to guarantee you anything. That's why you got to spend less time leaning into them and letting what you feel dictate everything that happens next in your life. This is bigger than your emotions. This is about mastery of self. This is about mastery of yourself. Can you decide in a way that opens the doors that have been closed to you? Or are you too invested in failing repeatedly that you will actually choose less when more is available? You'll choose less because it's convenient and it's easier and it keeps you feeling better. When you look at athletes who are going for those Olympic gold medals and breaking records and history and stuff, you think they are only training their body in their comfort zone? You think they're training in their growth zone? Tearing down muscle, rebuilding it, making it stronger so they can have faster speed and agility and stuff. Okay, it's a decision. It's better to choose your sacrifices than to have life choose them for you. Self-sabotage will have you sacrificing opportunities to become greater in exchange for your comfort zone. But Thema, do you understand how much energy it takes for me to break these patterns? And I don't even know what to do next. What to do next is to decide I will not do what I always do. That's your way out. If you're looking for a deliverance, if you're looking to see less self-sabotage in your life, then stop doing what you always do, running from people, shutting down, isolating, quitting too soon, not figuring out the solution, not applying yourself, not sticking to your schedule, not doing, and then just getting so overwhelmed, you don't tell nobody, you don't tag nobody in, you don't. Then you come back to your life trying to act like you got it all figured out, and you know you ain't did shit. You ain't figured out nothing. You just repeated the cycle. Change. That's your mantra today. Change. Change. Just pick one thing to do differently. Just one. Just one thing to do differently. Instead of driving and making a right on that street, maybe you make a left. Instead of ignoring the notification on your calendar on what you're supposed to be doing, you actually pay attention to it and do what you said you was going to do with that time block. Instead of looking for ways to escape disappointing people, when you do, you own it and correct it. And take the highest care of the relationships that mean the most to you. Right? So I just really wanted to have a conversation about self-sabotage and some of the behaviors and thought patterns that put us in that energy, and how do you come out of it? You do the opposite of what you typically do. If you typically don't exercise, go for a walk today. If you typically don't drink enough water, nobody is forcing you to be indecisive. Nobody is forcing you to not stick to your plan. You choose to opt out of the things that would take you to your next level. The good news is you can change your mind at any moment and choose to opt in and do what it takes to become who you want to be. At any given moment, you can change the trajectory of your life, and you should. You should. So I just wanted to encourage you to set the tone for your day. You do not have to let the day happen to you. You can happen to today. You can wake up, walk out your front door, and be a blessing because you decided that that is what you would be. Your life is in your hands. I know responsibilities can feel overwhelming, but they are truly a gift. It is a gift to be sovereign in your life, to be the key decision maker, to not have everything outside of you dictate what you feel inside of you, to be able to cultivate your power and your greatness and your authority in your life and see the fruit of your self-concept. See that working on Seeing yourself correctly, seeing yourself as God sees you leads to wealth, leads to peace, leads to joy, leads to healthy, powerful relationships. And you're no longer sabotaging the desires of your heart because you're settling for unfulfilling dynamics because it's easier, it's more convenient, it's more no, you say no, hell no, I'm going to have everything I want in my life. I will sacrifice years of mediocre surface level comfort for an eternity of fulfillment and deep satisfaction with who I love, who I'm bonded with, who I work with and for. People who reside in self-sabotage have miserable relationships. Even if they don't tell you all the details, you can tell that there is something off in the relationships in their lives. Well, it's because something is off in their relationship with themselves. They choose a path of failure when they choose to let self-sabotage activate, and we have all been there. I can testify that I have. I know what it's like to build the momentum for success and derail it. Sometimes I do it consciously, and sometimes, the majority of the time, honestly, I didn't even know I was doing it. I just had a pattern that I needed to address so I could set myself free. I used to see this with a former friend of mine. Every 6 months to a year, here she is in a new career field. I said, girl, will you just sit down somewhere and work somewhere? What do you really want to do? All these industry changes, she built up all this excitement. Yeah, girl, this job is the one. And as her friend, I used to be like, all right, girl, I'm with you. Let's go. Just to discover that she was losing herself in these ideas. She had no idea what she really wanted to do with herself. And she was avoiding that work and defining that. And it showed. It showed. What's showing in your life? You're listening to this for a reason. It's not a coincidence. What is showing in your life? Where are you self-sabotaging? How do you sleep good at night knowing that you told yourself that in the last 24 hours you were going to do X, Y, and Z, and then you just did not show up for yourself at all? You didn't even try to. And you just go to sleep at night like, oh, okay, I know that day is gone, but another one is coming. How can that be satisfying and okay with you? At what point, what will it take for you to become more than what you are right now? We don't have to schedule another crisis to change. You can change willingly. You can change with ease. Will it be difficult? Or yeah, because you have to reprogram your brain and your emotions. You got to get some emotional discipline. And there's some things you got to do. But at some point, don't you just want to be better and different and more of who you truly are? This is not an invitation to judgment or self-punishment, but I know that it's hard to change what you're not aware of and what you don't call a spade. Invest. If you can't do it on your own, get help. I will help you. You can book a session with me. This is my anointing and my expertise. I help people every day change the trajectory of their lives. I'm available. I have time on my calendar. Go to thewombsauna.com and say, Thema, I need you. And confess. This is what I do to sabotage myself. And I know it's a pattern and I need help breaking it. And we will roadmap it. And I bring the kind of accountability that will help you change. But you do need to invest. If you can't do it on your own, solicit, call in help. You don't have to drown in your inability to change and not knowing what you need to do to really break through, I'm telling you, one key decision at a time. And your brain only needs about 14 days of a consistent practice before it classifies it as a habit. Your habits are your patterns. What do you have a habit of doing? You have a habit of saying you're going to get something done and not getting it done. Okay, break that habit. The next time you commit to do something, do it. It's hard to get it done. Yup, until it's not. Because after you practice doing the hard things, they become easier. You're so interested in wanting ease prematurely that you won't cultivate yourself. Become greater. It's a decision. It starts with a choice. And I just wanted to have the conversation with you so you could witness your mind and how you decide what's going to happen next. Be mindful, be intentional, and do what's best for you. If this blessed you, please like, comment, share this message with someone else who needs it. I love to build the momentum of the positive conversations on the internet. People use the internet for a variety of things, but you can always count on me to use it for empowerment and education, to exchange love. All right, so enjoy your day, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Peace.